Good evening, welcome to tonight's Board of Zoning Appeals for Wednesday, September the 11th. Would you please call the roll?
Jeff Cook,
Here.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson,
Here.
Sayward Salazar,
Here.
Rob Tidrow.
Here. If everybody would stand and cite the pledge with me, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a small housekeeping item to take care of. And from last month's meeting, I would entertain a motion to retract the amendment and revert back to the original findings for BZA 18-2024. So the proposed findings of fact that were originally included were there.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second to make the housekeeping corrections. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Other than that change, we've all seen the minutes from last month's meeting. Are there any changes, other changes or corrections that need to be made? I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second to approve the meeting minutes from August 17th. As noted, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
You have a proof of publication for tonight's meeting.
Yes, thank you. This notice was published in advance. It states the time, date, place, and the items on the agenda for tonight's public hearing. I would ask the board to entertain a motion to accept the proof of publication.
I'll make a motion to accept proof of publication.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the proof of publication. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Also, we're going to switch the order just a little bit. It's in the agenda published this way, and we're going to hear BZA 20-24 before BZA 19-2024. So the petition of Kathleen Brown, Tammy Brown Creech, Cheryl Pierce, and Adam Powell, agent. Are you here tonight?
Mr. President, do you also want to make a notice for the public about the nature of any kind of a tie vote in the event that
Thank you.
occurs?
If there is a tie vote, since we are four people, that tie, we would come back and hear the motion again next month, correct? So just so everybody's aware. So please, tell us about your petition, actually introduce yourself, name and address, and then tell us about your petition.
Hello, good evening. I'm Adam Powell, and my address is 409 South 19th Street, Richmond, Indiana. And I'm coming here tonight to request a variance of use and also a variance of development standards for the vacant property located at 0 West National Road. Just a brief history on the property. There were 2 retail shops that used to be on this property, I'm told, in 1960. A TV repair shop was one of those. When 40 was widened, they had to remove the front part of the building, and eventually they ended up raising the building, and it's just been sitting vacant for years. Not a lot of use case on the property, other than just occasional renting to food trucks, and then also sometimes farmers markets and that sort of thing. Just a little bit about my business. I operate a shed/portable building business where we sell sheds for general storage and also cabins that can be used as offices or playhouses. We also sell greenhouses and just general sheds. We partner with skilled Amish builders to bring those sheds to our customers and serve Richmond with the sheds and other surrounding cities. Up until this point, I've been in business for about 5 years. I've done a lot of online business, but looking to have a location to do the business at, and I feel like this is a good opportunity for a location to display these sheds, and then also just to bring people into Richmond to do business from surrounding cities as well. Currently, so I am requesting a variance of use first. Currently, sheds and outdoor storage retail is not explicitly called out in the UDO, so there's some gray area there as far as that goes. And then I am requesting a variance to allow this as a permitted use within the UDO under the current zoning of general commercial. This variance would be in line with like businesses that are currently operating as general commercial. And in the packet, I did include 2 addresses of 2 businesses that are west of this location that are doing the same kind of business that have been operating for around 7 years under the general commercial zoning. Additionally, there are like businesses surrounding this property that are doing sort of outdoor commercial type sales, including Tony's Car Lot, which is right across the street, that's selling outdoor commercial type inventory cars. So it's not really out of line with the area. It's not like it's in an area where there's just nothing related, because there is. In addition to the variance of use, I'm also requesting a variance of development standards, requesting a variance to the setback on the north side of the property that's facing, I'm requesting a variance to the setback on the east side of the property that's facing Southwest 3rd Street. Typically, this would be a side yard setback, but since this is on a corner lot, it does have a 25-foot setback, so I am requesting that that be changed to 5 feet. And then also on the north side of the property facing 40, requesting the setback to be changed from 25 feet to 12 feet. These are portable structures. There's nothing affixed. There's no foundation or anything like that that's going to be built. They're movable, non-permanent structures. And then also I'm requesting a variance for the maximum display area. The current general commercial zoning outlines the display area as 15% of the primary structure or tenant space. In this case, it's a vacant land, so there's no primary structure. So if we followed suit with just 15% of the square footage of the lot, that would be 1,320 square feet. The lot square footage is 8,800 square feet. And I am requesting a 25% maximum area of the lot square footage, which would be 2,200 square feet. I feel like I can accomplish what I need probably under 2,000 square feet with a minimal footprint, but that'll just kind of give the leeway there. Outdoor commercial does allow up to 70% of a footprint, and I really feel like that's overkill for this. I feel like I would lean more towards the general commercial with that lesser footprint. Also requesting a variance for no primary structure, because there is verbiage in the UDO that talks about the primary structure, and in this case there is no primary structure. And then last, I'm just requesting a variance for no screening or shrubs. Since this is a developed lot which has concrete and asphalt, that would be difficult to do. Also, the buildings would provide some screen inherently. So yeah, that pretty much covers everything I had. I appreciate your time, and if you guys have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions to the petitioner?
Yeah, so you're not going to have like any permanent structure there, so it's just basically storage of these buildings.
Yes, so it would be basically the buildings. And it would be display models that could be sold and delivered, and then we would replenish with another building. But primarily for people to come and look at the buildings and purchase off of the lot as well.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Are you going to have office hours there? Or you can have a person there on site during those open hours, or?
Yeah, we would have some kind of hours. I would want to kind of see when the business flows through, what times work best, and then I would be there on site during specific times.
That was my question. Thank you.
Welcome. I have another question. For the setback variance to 12 and a half feet, is that going to hinder any kind of line of sight for people on Third Street pulling out? Because it can get kind of sketchy over there at times.
We
Traffic noise.
did our vision clearance triangle calculation,
Yes.
and we don't anticipate that that would create an obstruction.
And how will that be enforced? You know, these are portable structures, but they're probably heavy enough that, you know, maybe take a few people to move it or a machinery. So if someone places something there in the lot, you know, that encroaches that.
Yeah, I mean, typically with zoning violations, we tend to be complaint-driven, but of course, in such a visible location, we would probably notice if it's in the setbacks and.
Yeah, and I would just say those, I mean, it could be pretty easily moved. I would be there to make sure that we're staying consistent with that when they deliver buildings there, but they can be moved really easily.
Are there any other questions to petitioner?
I'm good right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll open public hearing for anybody that wishes to speak in favor of this petition. Anyone wishing to speak against this petition? Would please, sir, state your name and address for the record?
I'd be glad to do that. I am Gary Turner. I live at 871 Hidden Valley Lane. I always say it wrong. Make sure it's a lane. I'm actually here tonight representing the leadership board of the First United Methodist Church, which is immediately across the street from this property. We met last night, and the consensus of the board, and I think probably our whole congregation, is that we believe this not to be an appropriate use of that property. Outdoor commercial is in that corridor, but it's historic, and it's been there long enough that it's going to stay there because we can't change it. However, 2010, we adopted the UDO that we operate within now. I was part of the team that put that together. And one of the most important features of that ordinance is that we treasure our corridors, our primary commercial corridors, and we want them to look better than they have historically. And consequently, we have fairly high standards for design and development. And we've enforced those standards just recently, just up the street, Danny Stamper's project. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. And we've enforced it elsewhere. And as the result of the UDO, I'm seeing the 40 corridor look better all the time. And I'm afraid this would be a step back for us, in our opinion. So we're very much against this proposal. Thank you. See how short I can be?
Is there
Thank you.
anyone else wishing to speak?
Yeah, I'm Joe Evans from 227 Southwest 4th Street, just around the corner from there. Just not even living close to it, just as a general taxpayer for the city, we already have 2 storage shed places on the west side of Richmond. You have one on Salisbury Road, you have one between Richmond and Centerville. I don't really see the benefit of having a third one that is just going to be an eyesore, honestly, next to what would be a better, if we could get a restaurant in there, it'd be nice. That's more suited for that than that little corner lot. You also have that alley that comes out into the church there. That's not an alley. That's actually a street. Southwest 3rd Place would actually comes out into there through the back side of that. And you're going to have trucks and traffic, and we just live on the back side. I don't want the noise behind my house with the traffic. We already have Needler's. Needler's been there forever. Nice, convenient little store. All the little stores around there are convenient. You got Domino's right there. I just don't see the eyesore for the city being sheds just being stored there, because he just said when he was talking that it's most likely not going to be a manned site. It's just going to be storage. So I don't see the benefit of the city of Richmond putting storage sheds there just to store them. You can do that on the edge of town somewhere. So that's just my 2 cents of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak?
Disrespect to the board, I got glaucoma, so. the
Oh, you're
lights.
fine.
My name is Brian Heber. I live at 229 Southwest 4th. I am in strong disagreement of putting this outdoor shed company in the area. I can see better use of it, like Earlham did, right up the street and everything by Needlers and everything, where they put the new donut shop in, where it beautifies the community. This outdoor shed is going to make the area more not quite suitable for the area. And right next to it is a church with diminishing congregation. I'm worried that he will expand after the owner may pass or change hands. And living back behind that, all the noise and everything from the trucks, the trailers, the forklift. The forklift's got to have a warning device on it every time it backs up. It's got to have a warning light on it that flashes under OSHA ruling. I can see, I'm pro-business, but I like to see a business that brings value to my community. We are a tight-knit community, mainly made up of small families and larger families. A lot of grandkids, a lot of kids play their bikes up and down through there. They use Southwest C Place to ride their bikes on the 3rd. When you pull off, it was brought up earlier and everything about pulling on the 40, the traffic that's going eastbound. If you stop at the stop block and he puts sheds in, you will not be able to see the traffic that's coming from the east, which would cause traffic accidents increase. We already have a traffic accident increase in that area. As NDOT did a traffic study on this impact of this building, has the city of Richmond done a traffic impact on this area due to the trucks, trailers, and the inconvenience to the residents where these trucks are going to be parked at and his customers? That'll be taking up residential parking, which I understand is public parking. But we're already pressed for parking in that area. The vagrancy, we had a small issue over the last few years of vagrants using the church lot pavilion. As you can see, it's right behind the church. There's a small pavilion. I worked with the church and everything, and they rectify that, but we still have time to time vagrants that tend to hang out and everything, but they get moved on. With that storage and everything, it's going to increase the vagrants that are possibly that will stay in those buildings, and all the trash that's coming off that building and the sound going down between the church and the residential area day and night. Was it increase more of an echo from where the church lot is, or sound, and the diminishing property values. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This time we'll close public hearing and hear the staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. BZA 20 is the petition of Kathleen Brown, Tammy Brown Creech, and Cheryl Pierce, owners. Adam Powell's the agent, located on the property that was previously addressed 303 National Road West in Richmond, requesting a variance of use for an outdoor shed sales business to be permitted in the general commercial district at 0 National Road West. Current use is vacant lot, zoning is general commercial, the lot size is 0.212 acres. Adjacent zoning to the north is institutional, to the south is urban residential, to the east is general commercial, and to the west is institutional. Adjacent land use to the north is First United Methodist Church, to the south, single-family residential, to the east is the Mancino's Restaurant, and to the west is First Assembly of God Church. The proposed variance would allow an outdoor shed sales business to operate in the general commercial zoning district. Per the UDO, comparable outdoor commercial uses are only permitted in the outdoor commercial district. August 28, 2024, the public hearing was advertised in Western Wayne News. On August 29th, 26 adjacent property owners were notified about the variance and public hearing by mail. I believe we received 4 responses.
All 4 opposed. Adrian Parker from Tony's Car Lot, 250 National Road West. Krista McCurdy, 4937 Studi Road, Centerville. Opposed with comments. First United Methodist Church, 318 National Road West. We have two shed outbuildings on the west side of Richmond, within 1/2 mile of the city. Do we really need another one? Mrs. Thad Howard at 236 and 238 Southwest 3rd Street. I vote no on the outdoor shed business. Thank you.
Planning staff consulted with all city departments and utilities to determine any objections based on public health and safety. No health and safety objections were raised. Staff recommends denying the petition to allow outdoor shed sales in the general commercial district based on the following findings of fact. Number one, the approval of the variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because the proposed use does not require lighting, noise, or any other potential nuisance that may interfere with the surrounding community. The site plan included in the application shows that inventory will be located such that it does not interfere with the movement or visibility for travelers along National Road West or Southwest 3rd. Number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will be affected in a substantially adverse manner because the proposed outdoor commercial use is out of sync with surrounding uses, which include adjacent homes and churches. All nearby commercial uses adhere to the general commercial requirement for uses to operate from a primary structure with limited or no outdoor display. This includes Tony's Car Sales, the grandfathered nearby business that operates out of a 2,500 square foot building. The comparable uses that the petitioner has identified in his application materials have not been approved by the city. They are both illegal nonconforming uses and subject to fines, and they are located approximately 1.5 miles west of the subject property. Number three, the need for the variance does not arise from some condition peculiar to the property involved, because planning staff is unaware of any condition peculiar to the property that prevents it from being developed as a permitted general commercial use. While the property is smaller than many GC-zoned properties within the city, it is still far larger than the minimum 5,000 square foot requirement for the district. As an experiment, staff determined that with the setback variance requested in BZA 19/2024, the nearby 2,240 square foot former Tim Hortons building could hypothetically be located on the subject property while meeting drive, aisle, and parking space requirements. Number four, the strict application of the terms of the ordinance does not constitute an unnecessary hardship if applied to the property because the general commercial district permits, among numerous other uses, barbers and beauty shops, coffee shops, coin laundry, delicatessens, ice cream shops, offices, restaurants, studio arts, and a variety of retail uses and intensities. Permitted general commercial uses have previously operated on this site and continue to do so along West National Road. The appropriate zoning designation for this property is general commercial, and limiting the property to the district's permitted uses does not constitute an unnecessary hardship. And number five, the approval does not interfere substantially with the Richmond Rising Community Action Plan, because based on existing land use, built form, physical characteristics and conditions, growth trends, and community input, the comprehensive plan's future land use map attempts to define the nature and desired character of regions within the city. The future land use map identifies this stretch of West National Road as largely residential. However, it is unrealistic to limit the subject property to residential uses moving forward, as this does not align with the property's current zoning or the development of the corridor in recent decades. The plan does, however, identify this stretch of West National Road as a preservation corridor that has, quote, the opportunity to contribute positively to a well-coordinated transportation system in a setting consistent with the desired character of the corridor. It is the opinion of planning staff that the outdoor shed sales is inconsistent with the desired character of this corridor. However, it is difficult to state that this rises to the level of substantially interfering with the comprehensive plan. There is one written commitment, which is just that approval of BZA 20-2024 is contingent upon the variances of development standards associated with BZA 19-2024, as the general commercial development standards do not accommodate this petition's use. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to address those.
Questions of the staff?
I have no questions.
No questions.
I've got a couple. You used the vision triangle and for square or footage and vision sites and everything. I actually stopped onto this property on my way here tonight, and I had to wait for the stoplight at Southwest 5th to change in order to pull back out and continue eastbound. It was at 4:30, not when school was in, not when it's prime business, travel in and out. And I've been in that area during those times. You know, you mentioned Tim Hortons a little while ago, and coming out of there in the early morning, you know, stop and have coffee with my buddies, and trying to go eastbound across all 4 lanes was a feat during busy times, even as open as that is. When you applied your vision triangle, did you take into account that there would be structures there 20 feet tall, 15 feet tall, however they're gonna be, and up to 12 feet from the sidewalk into that proposal?
There are additional requirements in our height development standards as far as, you know, a structure cannot be so tall within so many feet of a right-of-way. So we did try to apply that. That being said, I do think it is worth maybe reconsidering the vision clearance triangle. We just had an unrelated case yesterday where a sign was obstructing traffic that I went out with Lieutenant Michael Black and had moved, even though technically it satisfied our vision clearance triangle requirements. So I do think it is probably worth revisiting how we do that.
My concern is more in 19 with the side yard setback to as small as it's going to be. I think it was 5 feet off Southwest Third, and then 12 feet from the front. If you put a yard barn right there on that corner, and you've got pedestrian traffic on the sidewalk with kids walking to school or walking home, and you've got all the traffic early morning, late afternoon with school letting out, I really think that it becomes a hazard. Then, you know, I've listened to some of the folks talk, and I was actually thinking about, so I don't know what kind of vehicle brings the trucks. I've seen everything from a straight truck with a forklift to the pretty fancy ones that are almost the length of a semi. If the property is full and they sell one, they got to get in there, pick it up, get it out, or how they load, are they going to block Southwest Third to do that? Are they going to stay up on 40 and do that? All of those are concerns for me, along with the safety piece of that. So just my 2 cents worth that, so with that, I'll entertain a motion for BZA 20-2024.
I'll make a motion to approve BZA 20-2024 based on the finding of fact with 1 written commitment.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve BZA 20-2024 based on the finding of facts and the 1 written commitment. You call the roll, please?
Jeff Cook,
No.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson,
No.
Sayward Salazar,
No.
Rob Tidrow.
No.
Sorry, your petition does not pass.
And just as a matter of housekeeping also, I notified the petitioner, there's a 30-day appeal period to the Wayne County Courts. That's in accordance with Indiana Code 36-7-4. And then at this time, we would want to know whether the petitioner would want to withdraw 19.
You want to withdraw 19 at the moment? Okay. We need to make a motion for that, Kim, or just note it in the minutes that the petitioner withdrew?
I think we can note it in the minutes that he verbally acquiesced to withdrawing the 19.
Okay. With that, we have no more new business. Filing deadline for next month's meeting was today. And do we have any on the docket?
We have nothing on the agenda for next month.
What?
That's like 15 months straight.
That's like never happened.
Forever. So with that, maybe we'll see y'all in November.
Oh, okay.
Do I have a motion to
I'll
adjourn?
make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned.
You are watching Whitewater Government Television, WGTV, Channel 11, part of the Whitewater Community Television family of stations.